The total value lock chart of Terra Luna right now looks like the Thanksgiving chart. It all looks nice and rosy at the beginning, and then suddenly, boom, it all comes crashing down. Now, do I think this can reverse? I don't think so. I think the damage has been done. The brand is completely shattered. The trust is gone. There's no more time to waste, so let's jump right in. Hi, so this is the total value lock chart of Terra Luna. Doesn't this have a lot of resemblance with this thing over here? The whole Luna ecosystem revolves around DeFi. It revolves around generating passive income, of course with Anchor being at the top, but there's also synthetic stocks, options on various assets, all kinds of interesting financial instruments, but the problem is all of this is based on UST. And UST now is at 60 cents. And it's supposed to be at $1. Now there's a ton of people that speculate on this right now. A ton of people that do have short positions on this. It's pretty hard to get all of this additional money into the system again to push this back to $1. And so when this does not happen, then how much is it really worth to get like 18% per annum on something that's fluctuating like this, right? The basis is really having a stable coin that is stable, having the burning mechanism that works, that burns enough Luna tokens per day to overcome something like this, having enough of a treasury that could support this, or in the final phase that we are currently in, having at least some VCs or some other participants in the ecosystem that are willing to bet on this. But it looks like that's not the case. We've been depegging so massively for such an extended period of time. It almost looked like a win, right? We had our first crash yesterday, then went all the way up to 94 cents just in order to then again crash down approximately 12 hours ago. Who in their right mind would now buy the Luna token? All of the brand value, all of the trust, it revolves around Anchor. It revolves around having this stable UST peg. And I understand the concept of buying low and selling high, and now obviously this is not a high price, but the risk is simply massive now. Historically, when we have seen such kind of a crash with Terra Luna, we have seen massive crashes before, right? We've seen a 90% crash over here. We've also seen in the summer of last year an 83% crash. Also, there was some kind of a depegging event, but it was way less pronounced and it resolved relatively quickly. Now Terra Luna is way larger in size and it's way harder to get back again. When there is a reversal, right, as we have seen in the past, then we still see a floor for an extended period. This floor here, after we had this crash, we still had a relatively low price level for almost 2 months. So why buy now directly into this crash? Even if the peg restores, there's still going to be a lot of doubts, right? A lot of money that's currently still tied up can't exit. Now the brand will only be attractive to people that look for high risk, high reward kind of plays. In the past, Terra Luna and Anchor was rather a risk off play, or it was perceived as such. So if the Luna ecosystem does have any future, it's not going to be the safe passive investor kind of people. It's going to be the people that are already doing risky plays on Avalanche or on Phantom or on any other layer 1 competitor, right? The unique selling point of Terra Luna, of Anchor, it is gone with this event. Now the 20% per annum don't look as attractive anymore when you get these kinds of crashes. You now, in order to get again more capital flowing into the system, you now have to incentivize people more. You can't get away anymore with 18 or 19% per annum. So the whole nature of UST and of Terra Luna, if it has any future at all, it's gonna be very, very different to how it was in the last months. And so if you're asking, should you now sell your Luna? Should you now sell your UST? It depends on your risk tolerance, of course, because the risk profile has simply shifted that massively. And when you look at a portfolio composition, right, as in the idea of having a balanced weight of different assets, you want to have the smallest exposure to the riskiest position, because the idea is when there's high risk, there's also high reward. So given that Luna now has crashed that much, given now that the risk has elevated, you should account for that risk, right? You shouldn't have the same proportion of Luna or of UST in your wallet today as you had in the past, which of course isn't that hard given that we've already come down quite a bit. Luna has fallen in the last week by 90%. 1%. And the remaining money that's left, is this really just the diamond hands that are so convinced of Luna, or is this actually simply capital that's locked up? I think the former is more likely. The people that haven't sold yet, they simply haven't been able to sell yet. Now here's what I think. If you don't yet have any kind of exposure to Luna or to UST, and you're now considering, should I actually buy this? Should I maybe do this high risk, high reward play? Then I think it's best to look at a potential turnaround. And what I think is probably easier to turn around is the UST pack than the Luna price. Luna is the risk on play, right? Luna is the asset that has always been fluctuating, and the Luna ecosystem is dependent on UST. Now without UST, there is no real use case for Luna. There is no real use case for the Luna blockchain. It's all DeFi. So what I would do, if you're considering to catch this falling knife, I would look for the floor. I would wait for a week or so for the price to stop falling. And during that time, I would also look for the UST pack to recover. I think when the UST pack recovers, which I'm not saying it will, right? But if there is some point in the future where we see again UST equals $1, then at that moment in time, I don't think that Luna will have already recovered. So at that point in time, there's still the opportunity to buy for a reversal. So there's no real rush to jump into this. With each passing day where UST is not at $1, the brand of Terra Luna continues to decline. The trust continues to break. People continue to exit the system. So this is really a race against time. And I think there's no need to be the exit liquidity for the people that are currently trapped. Rather wait until we see some kind of light at the end of the tunnel. Buying fear is all nice and good, but if you don't have a thesis why this should turn around, if you're simply just buying because now it's low, then that's what I think is simply just gambling. What I would consider light at the end of a tunnel is a restoration of the UST pack. That's when one might consider getting into Luna again. Until this has happened, I personally hold off. I don't touch it. This is a burning house and there's not enough water to stop the fire. We are currently discussing this situation in the Telegram group. So in case you're not yet part of the Bitcoin Strategy Telegram group, simply search for Bitcoin Strategy channel within the Telegram app. We are currently around 2,000 people over there. I publish videos on this channel regularly, so don't forget to subscribe as well. Last but not least, if you're interested in a backtest of how to trade the Luna token, of what historically worked the best, then don't forget to check out this video over there. There's a lot of value there as well. So see you in that video and thanks for watching this one. Bye bye.